You're tuned in to O Comes the Dawn on NorthCoastUnderground.com and Facebook Live. Welcome to O Comes the Dawn with Lacey and Kev, the show that reflects on life's lessons, whether good, bad, or ugly. Each week, we talk about ourselves, each other, and even you if you let us. Why? Because nothing's off limits when we use our lessons to help others. So tune in to our show on Facebook Live and NorthCoastUnderground.com and share with us what dawned on you today. It just may save someone some time, or at least make them smile. Hey everybody, welcome to Who Comes the Dawn with Lacey and Kev. I saw you turn that light off. Welcome to O Comes the Dawn with Lacey and Kev, the show that talks about life lessons, whether good, bad, or ugly. I'm not going to go through the whole intro tonight, but we are here every week from 7 to 9 p.m. talking about what we learn new in life and willing to share it with you. And y'all, we was on time tonight, so I am impressed already. Hello, 2026, here we come. Anyway, so if you see me messing with my ear, because my headphones broke right before the podcast started, and guess what? I had wireless, and my computer let me. Y'all see he held up the beat. I don't care about no stupid beat. Listen, his beats. Listen, he's had those beats for the past 5 years since we've been doing this show. And let me tell you what happened with those beats. Those beats wouldn't work sometimes. Sometimes he couldn't hear on those beats.
I could hear. It was just because it had the mic, and I'm trying to use a mic.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem would be sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't want your stupid little beats. Anyway, hater. So each week we talk about ourselves, each other, and you. I just messed that up. Anyway, so each week we say the same thing. What dawned on you today? And so we start with ourselves. And if you are in the chat, please feel free to, first of all, say hi to us. But not only that, tell us what dawned on you today. Last week, somebody actually shared for the first time in 5 years what dawned on them, and it turned into a whole conversation. So that is something we actually do want to know. So if you so feel like it, please share with us what you've learned. We want to share those things with each other and bounce ideas off of each other. Maybe we can get through this life a little easier, right? So anyway, Kev.
Yes.
What dawned on you today?
What dawned on me today is being old. But nah, it's just the weather and trying to figure out my heating situation. That's what dawned on me today.
At your house?
Yeah, my home. Yeah. I said it because today it dawned on me, go ahead and close the vents in the bedroom so that way your living room can probably get heated. That's what dawned on me. My bedroom is very warm because it's a little smaller. And so my living room and dining room is kind of one big room. So being as bigger, it's kind of hard to try and heat it up.
Does that actually work?
It feels a little bit more comfortable in here. You know, at times it'll feel comfortable as the heat kick on when I'm sitting over in the living room part, but being over here in the dining room area, I think I got a china cabinet up here. That's why I've been talking about how I want to rearrange. And I think there's a vent behind it. So, because I can't find the actual vent that's in the dining room area, but I have two that's in the living room. So there has to be something in here. But it just dawned on me, go ahead and close your bedroom's vent, and hopefully you can heat up this bigger area that, take up so much open air and open space that it seems chilly in here at times. So that's what dawned on me today. Finally thought about closing the vent after being here for 3 years. trying to figure out how to, instead of putting on more clothes like I usually do, because you see I got on the quarter zip now. But yeah, that's what dawned on me today, is trying to really figure out what to do with my heating in this home after 3 years of being here.
After 3 years, just three. Just three. Well, it just dawned on me to actually try to winterize, which I didn't actually. I didn't. So my room is you smart, you kind, you important. You don't know what that's from?
Nah.
Oh, it's from the movie The Help. That's what she
Okay.
used to tell the little girl. You is smart, you is kind, you is important. And the little girl will repeat it.
I just remember Octavia and the shit pies. That's
Yeah, the crap pie.
yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to forget that. I ain't gonna lie. But okay, so that's what dawned on you. But yeah, as far as winterizing, so I got as far as one window, and that's all.
Now, did you do it? Because I need to winterize because my windows are single pane, so they very
Oh,
leaky. Or my dad
yeah.
would keep his house, like I said, it's the '90s. I think when he
Mhm.
so, and I still need a roof. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but to truly winterize it, I think it's nicely insulated. But the windows, they're terrible. They're single pane. That's what I was telling my mom. In the wintertime, it's super hot. You know what I'm saying? And now in wintertime, you can feel some draft at times. So it's like I
You
need.
said in the wintertime it's super hot.
I said in the summertime, it is super hot.
That's what you meant. But I'll go along with it.
Well, we can play it back here. Check. Let's see. But in the summertime, it's usually warm, and here in the wintertime, it can get a bit drafty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am smart and I'm kind and I'm very important.
Oh, yay. Yes.
I'm somebody.
You are somebody. You are somebody. Martin Luther King ain't the only one who believed it.
I am somebody.
Listen, I miss Martin Luther King. I know we ain't meet. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like he could have been my friend.
Mm.
I feel like he thought rationally and you know, I appreciate that. Now before I get into my spiel, do you have anything else to say?
Nah, that's it. So what dawned on you?
What dawned on me.
Your spiel. You try to give us a little we in for a speech or something.
No, I'm just listen, I don't know. But what dawned on me is that if I said exactly what was on my mind half the time, I probably wouldn't have a lot of friends. I would probably have a lot of people who didn't who do not who see me a little bit differently. I don't know if it would go, higher or lower, but I think if people knew all the thoughts, I mean, I guess that's anybody, but if people knew a lot of the stuff that I was thinking about these subjects that they talk about all the time, like if I could have a theme song to my life. Thank you, friend. If
She don't got
but
no friends. That's why.
man,
Here in the comments.
shut your face. She has plenty of friends. So do I. And she probably would be my friend anyway, because most of the time I tell her whatever is on my mind anyway. So that's probably how she can say it.
That depends on the friend, though. You know, if you don't mind hearing the truth, I mean, if you don't mind, speaking the truth, you should mind hearing the truth.
Yeah. Now I will say, with my friends, we can a range of things that we can speak of. It goes pretty wide. So it's not, I don't have friendships where I only talk about really happy things. I probably do, but like my really, really close friends that I talk to on a regular, I talk to them the wide range. So everything from the simplest stuff to the hardest stuff to the goofiest stuff to the painful, whatever it is, So, for the most part, I am able to be exactly who I am with my friends, but I'm talking about like people who don't all the way know me, or even the public. That's kind of why, social media, I want to branch off, but I'm trying to figure out what person I can be that people can receive. I want to make sure that
you thinking you being too many personalities. What comes?
No, shut up.
No, I'm asking because we know certain friends that we can say things and we can't say things other. You know what I'm saying? I probably can serious conversation and tell them, but over here, serious conversation, try to tell them, they take it as you coming at me, or you know what I'm saying? We got
Absolutely.
Right? What made you think of that like that to where you can just try and be the same person across the board? Basically, is what you sound like you're saying.
No. Well, so I think that I have a wide range to my personality. Um, I some people, and this may not be true, but for some people it seems as though, if they are even tempered, no, not even tempered. I don't know how to explain. All I'm saying is, um when it comes to social media, I don't know which part of me that I am willing to share.
Mm.
So I know so there's strong presence in my life. So there's my musical presence that most people know about. There's also the presence of my spirituality. But most people are not ready for, like, this is kind of unfiltered, but I can be really unfiltered. And I don't think that part of me would be shared greatly on social media. I think I would make a lot of people, I think I would make a lot of friends, but I also might make some enemies because I don't always agree with things that everybody agrees on. I am a person who likes to see things from all sides. And sometimes people can be very one-sided and they don't want to be able to see from all sides. But I think how I grew up makes me want to. So, I grew up with an understanding of people who are in prison, of people who are in nursing homes, of people who are in very different situations than the average person. So the average person, I you wouldn't necessarily say the average person is in a nursing home, in a hospital, in a jail cell. But these are the people who I grew up trying to understand their point of view. So when you have this wide range, you don't always see everything as black and white. And don't get me wrong, I do have black and white situations, but I also recognize that there is a lot of gray in the life that we live. Period. I
A lot of
listen.
gray matter.
Don't choke me. Listen.
It's a lot of gray matter out here.
Yeah. So one thing. So this is about to be a little interesting. I just knocked my thing off. So shut up. It's in my ear. Jive turkey. So no, I'm not gonna share that right now. But yeah. Listen, so
nah.
No, okay. So here's the thing. So you know how church people are church people? No. I don't know if it's church people. I don't know if I should say Christians. I don't know if you should say religious people. Okay, so you know how
conservative. You can say conservative.
Yeah. So maybe that's what I should say.
It's more conservative.
Conservative.
Because they're older. So, older ones are kind of conservative and
so I'll say conservative. Yeah. So we have to have black and white in some areas, because we have to, if you have to have an understanding of where you stand. So but when it comes to homosexuality versus heterosexuality, I used to have a strong stand. I used to have a really strong stand on where I was. And I remember we were doing Vacation Bible School. And we were talking about, it came up. I don't remember. Oh, we were talking about love. And homosexuality came up in the topic. And this one lady, she talked about because everybody has strong opinions. It's wrong, blah blah blah. And then a lady talked about a friend of hers who was a hermaphrodite. And
that's a little different.
So, exactly. And that's my point. So everything cannot always be black and white when you have someone who is in the gray. So we start thinking, that's a person who has both genitals,
sexual
organs. So in their case, they were confused about which one would be right with God, because because of the fact that they were both, that they had both. So exactly. Doesn't that make you think? So does that mean that they are right no matter which one they choose?
The person of the whole, not so much if they choose male or female. It'll be the person of a whole, wouldn't it?
The person of the what?
The person as a whole, the whole person, not there because they decided on one gender. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, if we're talking about men should be with men, women should be with women, when it comes to, and I know this is heavy for 15 minutes in, but whatever, I'm here now. So if men should be with men, women should be with women, but I'm a hermaphrodite who wants to live for the Lord, what is my black and white? What is my right and my wrong if I have both? So how do I decide?
You know, you're still God's creation. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't have to look at it from either side.
So here's the thing. We can say that situation right there definitely made me say, huh, that person didn't choose, because then it was like, you know, before she talked about that, it was a lot of people who had opinions about, well, that's a person's choice and they have to pray it away, and they have to ask the Lord to get it out of their system, and they have to live the life this certain way, and they have to choose and all this stuff. But then I was in a position where I had to think about it differently. I had to think about the fact that God made this person. God made this person different. And so now if I have to look at this person different, now I have to look at every situation different. And I'm not saying that some things are not a choice. And I'm not saying that God's word is not correct. I'm not saying that I don't believe what I believe.
See where I was going with that, with the choice, because that's one thing that I would say I kind of struggle with in the sense of growing up in a church.
Whether it's a choice?
Yeah, you know.
Here's my thing. This is what I know.
But nonetheless, the liberal minded of me is like that's their right to choose. But the conservative minded of me is like, that's not what it says as far as, but I don't even follow the word. So who am I to judge on how they, you know? So
that's another thing.
That's why I said, but like I said, it's still hard because you want to judge, but yet still you don't want to hold that against anybody because you want your views respected also.
But isn't that person a free will individual? So when you say, isn't that person a free will individual, what does that mean? So here's my thing. I am not saying that that I have a I waver in what my belief is, but I am saying that when we make decisions, we have to also be ready for the what ifs. So what I decided to do is plant the seed of righteousness no matter what. So what is God telling you? What has God directed you to do? Because it's not my right to judge. It's not. I can tell you what the Bible says left and right.
Yeah.
But I know what the Bible says, and all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So I can tell you, I'm going to tell you what the word of God says. I'm going to tell you what I believe. I'm going to tell you all of the spiritual things that I have already learned and why and all that stuff, if you ask me. But at the same time, I learned to operate in love. And that's first and foremost. I learned to operate in love because the word says that we plant the seed and he gives the increase. So if we want people to change, we can, is the point for people to change, or is the point for people to get closer to God so that what God wants to change changes in them? Right? Yeah. So that's the hard part.
For God to give you the understanding to respect whatever their choice are, is what you're saying almost.
Oh, he said my audio's looping. Huh. I think there's a fine line between
Emotional
emotional
terrorists.
terrorists and
What,
spiritual hostage.
what do you mean by emotional terrorists? You use your emotions as far as weaponizing towards other people? Would you say, because terrorists, that's, you think you're terrorizing somebody else and using
And
emotion.
spiritual hostage.
Weaponizing your emotions is how I look at that. Spiritual hostage, I mean, when you
Isn't
want to
that the same thing?
when you want to be held hostage in the spirit, God hold me hostage now. What do I don't. He said there's a difference. There's a fine line between the two.
So if I say terrorist or hostage, so I'm being held hostage in my spirituality, which means I'm not open-minded. So that's what I'm gathering from that one. Emotional terrorist is that because I am stuck in my emotion and not in what is factual. Maybe I'm not completely understanding, but all in all,
this mean our audio is
I don't know what it means when he says audio is looping.
Yeah, I wonder if a bit or
yeah, I don't want to.
Was he live?
I don't want to be talking and just be weird.
Yeah. Well, when he said looping, I think it went back to another point that he had heard before. So
yeah,
I wonder if he jumped off the live for a second and it took him back to where he finished, or something like that might happen.
I'm not sure, but I say all that to say, I learned to do everything first with prayer and love, because there are definitely some areas that I may never completely understand. And so I learned to operate with everyone in love, and then pray for their direction as I pray for mine as well. Because there are some areas in all of our lives that we need to change, that we need to grow in, that we need to evolve in. And so if God directs them to change, then that's what I hope happens. If there is something emotional, just like I think we have so many areas in there that we don't understand. There are areas where people have been abused. There's areas where people have felt like they were that way from the beginning. We have areas where it is emotional. We have like it's so much that goes along with that I don't understand, that I may never understand. So if just like any other thing,
I was born this way.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a man to me, but I get what you're saying.
How do I argue with someone who says I was born this way, and constantly I've seen people who have constantly tried to fight it. Constantly tried to fight it and tried to do all the things, and still it had a hold on them. But I've also seen people who have had the same hold with drugs and alcohol, and not trying to compare love to something like that, but I'm saying all of the things that we deem
your choice
as no, I'm talking about as sin.
Well, I'm just saying, but those are our personal choices, though. That's what kind of allude to. But yeah, I'm not.
Sometimes,
yeah,
because like I think this is a heavier conversation than I was trying to have for the beginning of the show, and it's not even the topic. But I just like I said, going back to what dawned on me is like if I go to the actual factual of how I feel about a lot of topics, I think I'm not sure if it'll be received. I'm not sure about because at the end of the day, it's not that everybody is going to agree with me, right?
Yeah.
But
it goes along with it. It goes along with it, You know
what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to take the good with the bad. And listen, I don't always want the bad. Don't nobody want the bad. And so it keeps me from kind of jumping into situations. But I will say this, in all things, like I wish I could have a segment or a show called "It Could All Be So Simple," and maybe I'll do that. every day point something out. Like it could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. And so then we go to different topics where we're talking about the fact that why did we, just like the stuff that we're talking about today, the fact that it became actual topics is crazy to me. The fact that people are taking small things and making them large when we have so many things in the world that are they're actually crazy, actually stupid. We voted in the same person who messed things up before, but we have a problem with dresses and we have a problem with skits.
That's what I was saying. It goes, well, we were just talking about, kind of all ties in together. It all goes to choices, just like
it does.
You know? So yeah, I when it comes to me, what I'm implementing when it comes to that is just, looking from within and just saying, go ahead. If that's who you are, then I'm going to give you the respect of who you want to be, choice or not. You know what I'm saying? And with that, now I'm going to defend you if you're proud of who you are. But before I wouldn't say I had a hard time. It's very confusing of me. You growing up in the church, you shouldn't be doing that. Then, the liberal mind inside of you is like, you should be able to choose to do what you want to do out here. So it's like, yeah.
Now that part. So here's my thing. There are certain things that I don't understand, but I'm not necessarily going to hold up a banner and say, right on. You know what I'm saying? Your choice or not. There are some things that I'm just not going to agree with. I do have some black and whites.
But that's why even with the choice, if I don't agree with it, I'm gonna respect it. Even if I don't fully understand, but I'm gonna respect because you're passionate enough to talk to me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm learning to be, not learning, but in all things, I realize that you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. So if I want you to be closer to God, I'm not gonna kick you when you down. I'm not gonna take you to places and disrespect you. I'm not gonna talk down about the things that you love. Because guess what? That ain't what God did. God addressed the sin and he said sin no more, and he loved people and he healed people and he fraternized with the people who really needed him. So I'm not going to separate myself from people who truly need me because I don't agree. Now there are times where I do have to be separate. I ain't going to say that. But I'm not going to do everything they do. But I also just am not going to judge so heavy that I can't be there to support somebody so that they get enough time to change. If God wants you to change, then let me be the person who plants the seed to say, here you go. You have somebody who was listening. Sometimes, like, I'm at a place in life where I say, I'm listening, and I may not have nothing to say, but I'm listening. Because sometimes people just need that.
Yeah. You also can get flies with shit too, but yeah, I won't get it. So you get flies for honey to vinegar, what you got?
Well,
that's why I start cracking up.
You don't get flies. You don't get flies with poop. You get maggots. And we're not trying to catch maggots.
Oh man.
We don't want maggots. Maggots are gross. Oh, by the way, people. Okay. So I have a headache, a shooting headache. So this is coffee. Don't judge, Caffeine usually helps with headaches. So that's what this is about.
Is that what the energy drink? Is this the replacement for the energy drinks?
So yes, but today I have stabbing, shooting things going on in my head. Listen, just pray for your sis. Because
Keeping a brave smile on your face going to
listen, if my eyes be closed a little bit, it's because I'm trying to fight this light up here and I'm definitely woke and stuff, but I don't know. It's the shooting, stabbing pains. It's not great. Hi, Auntie.
Hey,
But yeah,
but yeah, that's a very because you know having family members that have that choice, choose that
absolutely.
lifestyle. That's when I had to take a look. My love for them hasn't changed. So who am I to say
Exactly.
and judge somebody outside the family who has? You could,
Well, we knew what it meant. Oh yeah, we knew what it meant. um, but yeah, my cousin just got engaged, so it's hard knowing how we grew up, and then it's like I don't know how we rationalize it, but at the same time, it's not my love for her can't change. My
it's
love for the
times now. It's more accepting now because you got to think coming from 70s, 80s, it was starting to come around, but it still wasn't truly accepted that alternative lifestyle. So you still have
yeah,
people who are in the closet.
absolutely. But
So
you not only had people who were in the closet, but you had people who were committing suicide.
hurting themselves.
You had people who were hurting themselves. You had people who were on drugs. So here's the thing. If loving you past that saves your life and gives you an opportunity to figure out whatever we got, that's the goal. The goal is for you to be able to get to a place where God works on you. That's no matter what the situation is. And so many times we put so much. That's another thing. So many times we put so much weight on homosexuality, and everybody doing everything else. What about everything else?
Well,
We gotta put the weight on everything. We have to put the weight.
Growing up back then, it was crazy. Homosexuality was frowned upon, but the pedophile in your family you want to protect. It's great. It was crazy.
How about that?
It was crazy.
Your uncle been raping all his kids,
Yeah.
but don't get Tommy out the closet. Look, get out of here.
But we're gonna pray the gay away or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
they don't need.
You want to bring this one to the forefront.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I will say there is a difference with homosexuality, because I do feel like sometimes it's the only one that people want us to accept. And it's like, but this is not what we understand. This is not what we understand as being right according to the word of God. So there has to be a balance for both. Both sides have to have an understanding of, this is what God's word says. This is how I feel. I'm trying to figure things out, or this is where I've come. It's just not, it's not black and white. And that's my whole point. Yeah. So let's read what Miss Isha North said. Yes. You want to read it? You want me to read it? You want both. So supporting a person whose beliefs and choices do not align with the will of God requires a balance of unconditional love, respect for their autonomy, and maintaining one's own faith boundaries without becoming judgmental. The goal is to support the person rather than violating the belief that contradicts your faith, often by focusing on building a trusting relationship. Absolutely. Thank you. You summed it up. That is exactly my point. I have to recognize and stand strong in what I believe, while also creating a safe place for God to do what he does. Because there is no sin is greater than another. And though there should never be a place of judgment that's higher because I don't believe in what you believe. So there has to be respect. There has to be love. There has to be an ideal that we all trying to get. We all trying to get understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you want your
Always
understanding,
has to be that.
you got to respect everybody else's understanding if you want yours respected. That's
Exactly.
the only way to have any type of positive dialogue between two individuals.
Yep.
Have different
And
beliefs.
here's what it is too. We can all be in the same church and not have exactly the same understanding as the person sitting next to us. So we all have to be ready for the conversation that allows us all to get to a place of understanding, but also recognize that you could believe in this 100% and I could have questions. It's always got to be respect. We have all of these different religions because of the fact that people understand things differently. And even going to school for biblical teaching, I have an understanding of why I believe what I believe and how I believe, all of the information behind it. I have an understanding of that. On a different device because it's looping audio. So you're the only one who says it's looping audio. I don't understand. Maybe so you're I don't know. Neither of us have it on. I don't have it on anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't
sorry
have it on.
Sorry to cut off what I was saying, but
I got it going through my sound card, but it's how it usually is, and this is the first time somebody said anything about looping audio.
Let me let me make sure, because I don't want to happen is I don't want the sound, and I'll work on that while you do the Donning report, because remember
ain't nothing to report. We going to war. We got Trump in office, y'all. See, I know what it is.
Oh, she said there's an echo every now and again when I'm talking. Okay, yeah, I'm trying. Okay, so I'm trying to figure. Oh, I just heard it.
I ain't the queen.
Just heard it. Shut your face.
This is good.
Don't let me interrupt you. This is good. I just don't. I don't want it to be a distraction either. I don't want the audio to be a distraction. It is something I don't know. There is an echo here and there, and I don't know how to fix it. I've been saying that for a while, but everything I do has not been working.
What is this?
I'm sorry, everybody.
What is different this week?
That's not the difference, you jerk face. That's not the difference. No. Honestly, I've been having this same issue. So I was trying to see if I could use my iPad rather than my computer to see if it was the computer that was doing it. But the iPad wouldn't pull up StreamYard the way I needed it to. It wouldn't connect. So I'm sorry about, the audio issues. I hope most of what I'm saying is clear and, understandable. But again, my main thing is in all things, I want to make sure that I think that's a whole nother reason why it dawned on me that I have to be very cautious about the things that I say, because of the fact that sometimes, again, my opinion is not always popular opinion.
Now, I guess you're saying that because you wasn't asked of your opinion and you gave it?
Well, yeah, maybe. Because no, so I just use that. We got on a whole conversation about this, but that ain't even where I was going. I just use that as an example because I know, like, sometimes we are trying to make things black and white that are not always black and white. And so I use that as an example because that was my first my first real encounter with something that I believed with all my heart. And then all of a sudden it was like threw a monkey wrench in it. And it was like, open your eyes. Open your eyes and recognize that everything is not going to be so A B black and white. You choose right now.
Yeah.
So this is actually Lee, this is actually not the topic for tonight. What we do every show at the beginning is we talk about what dawned on us. And so what dawned on me is just talking about who I am, and as it relates to social media, how I would translate some things and how I can't share everything. So that was just the beginning of the show. We usually recap. Well, not recap. We usually talk about what dawned on us, then we go into the dawning report, and then we go into our topic. Our topic usually starts between 7:45, 8 o'clock. So then we'll go into that.
8:15. We started like 8:15 last week.
Yeah, sometimes the what dawned on you today, which is actually the title of the show. Sometimes the what dawned on you today actually has heavy weight. And so we end up talking about it and having a conversation about it. And I don't want us to gloss over things that are actually important and we're having a conversation about, because the whole premise of this show is sharing the things that we've learned. The things that we've learned about ourselves, the things that we've learned how to do, that all the things that have brought revelation to who we are. I don't like to gloss over that. So the format of the topic is so that we have somewhere to transition to. But if the topic is flowing with what dawned on us today, we never want to gloss over it. So I am gonna let it go so we can move on. You ready for the dawning report? I know you don't have much today, but
yeah, I don't have much about it. We'll get up.
Okay.
You're tuned in to O Comes the Dawn on NorthCoastUnderground.com and Facebook Live. And now here's Kev with the Dawning Report. That's your local and global news and your trending topics.
This will help if I turn on my mic. Yeah, this is Kev with the Dawning Report. A few short stories of things that's going on across the country and around the world. So let's jump off into it. I only got one story up. So real quick, this measles outbreak from 2025 has proved to be the worst for the U.S. in quite some time, say over 25 years. The Center for Disease and Control, or the CDC, report more than 2,200 cases in a recent report. It's mainly due to an increase in vaccination hesitancy, where parents don't want to have their kids vaccinated or want vaccination exempt. They basically want vaccination exempt, basically based off personal belief or objecting to the vaccination. Earlier last year, Texas reported over 760 cases of measles, with 2 deaths coming by way of children, which was the largest outbreak in the U.S. in decades. South Carolina also saw a large measles outbreak, as well as the border area around Utah and Arizona, where they reported somewhere around a couple hundred cases, and it's continued to expand. Since the year 2000, the U.S. has held the elimination status risk for measles and may lose that status due to parents not having their kids vaccinated. But so far this year in 2026, there has been 186 cases reported in the U.S. In comparison, in 2023, there were only 63 cases reported. In 2024, there were 283 cases reported. Various medical experts have said that parents, they need to hurry up and do what they can to get their children vaccinated to try and help from the spread of this measles outbreak. Real quick, what's the date today? You getting back on, Alicia? Did I lose you? Oh, the date today is January 20th. If you have a birthday today or this week, happy birthday. Told you it was real quick. I mean, if I reported anything else, it was going to be about Trump, which I reported last week about him threatening Greenland. I guess I could have said something about this is his the year. He took oath of office last year, this time or whatever. But other than that, it's not too much going on. I couldn't find even anything when it comes to celebrity, like you were asking. I'm not big on the drama anyway. But today is January 20th. If you have a birthday today, happy birthday. If you have one this week, again, happy belated birthday. But if you have it today, you share with the likes of actress Stacey Dash is 59. NBA star Tyler Hero is 26. Actor Omar Sy is 48. TV host or political analyst Bill Maher is 70. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin is 96. NFL quarterback JJ McCarthy is 23. Joey Badass, rapper, he is 31 years old, as well as rapper Blueface, he is 29. The national holiday today, I forgot, it was somebody else's birthday today. I guess I could share this with you guys. The national holidays today, can you see it?
Nope.
Sure.
There we go.
Okay. It's Camp Day, Inauguration Day, just to name a few. International Day of Acceptance. We need to get Alicia to start accepting people, huh? Yes.
Shut your face.
National Cheese Lover Day, National DJ Day, Penguin Awareness Day, Rid the World of Fad Diets and Gimmicks Day. Think about that. And last but not least, Take a Walk Day. Take a Walk Outdoors Day, I should say.
Okay, well, then there's that.
Told you it was real short today.
More walk outdoors.
To take a walk outdoors day or whatever?
Yeah, in 3 degrees.
Yeah, take a walk outdoors. Yeah, especially up here. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that is the Donna Report. For more stories like this and others, please go to our Facebook page. Oh, comes the Don.
Thank you so much, Kev, for the Donna Report.
You're welcome. We
are going to get right into our topic. Our topic tonight, as you probably saw, was Druski, dresses, and drama. So I have kind of been avoiding talking about the situations that everybody talks about. I don't like trendy. I know that sounds crazy. But
that's why doing the Donna Report is hard, because we both really don't get into the whole drama. I mean, we kind of like talking about it behind the scenes, but trying to get into give it true life. We both don't like the whole drama stuff when it comes to a situation like this.
Yes. But I will say, when it comes to certain stuff, it's important to kind of have an opinion. We are media, we are media. It's kind of important to share, and then let our listeners, our viewers, to share what they think as well. This is the moment where where we will share our link, so that if there is anyone who would like to join us on the show, you can join us. Feel free to click. You will not come directly onto the show. I don't know why we are having this back and forth again. This echo, I mean. You will not come directly onto the show. You will be put into the background, and then we would have to bring you on, but just click the link and then you're able to be put into the queue. We will see you at the bottom and then bring you on as soon as we can. Either way it goes. So again, we're addressing kind of the trending topics that have been going on for a couple of weeks. They pretty much died down, but now that they've died down, cooler heads can prevail, and we can say how we've been feeling about it. Just thought we'd bring it up, kind of have our opinions about it, and then let it go. So first and foremost, we want to talk about Druski. So I don't know if our audience is really, the age where Druski is somebody in their life. How did you go blurred all of a sudden? Anyway.
Did I?
Yeah, just out of nowhere, you just went blurred. I don't think that was my glasses. But anyway. So Druski is actually what happened to him? What? Oh, if we ever have bloopers. One day we should just share all the extras with people so they can see the behind. Well, not even their behind the scenes, because this definitely just happened in front of everybody. His light fell in front of all of you. But anyway, so Druski is a YouTuber, a influencer, I guess, of sorts, a social media, whatever.
Influencer, yeah, YouTube guy.
Yeah, I don't even know what to call people at this point, because everybody influences everybody and everybody is on YouTube. Everybody got a YouTube channel. Okay. So, but he's pretty well known. And over the past week or so, he's become more well known because of a skit he did, basically mocking mega churches and their preachers. So according to some people, some bloggers, he was imitating several preachers. Some tried to tie it to one specific one. But either way it goes, his skit got a lot of attention, and yeah, let's just get into it. So
there was a mic.
Tell me, yeah. So I don't even want to say his name, because that poor man, they put him in everything.
He addressed it because I'm trying. That's why if you see it, look at some stuff, trying to see.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find it. To what he said, but he responded to it. I guess he kind of said it was hilarious. So
yeah, Pastor Mike Ty. I saw his response to it. I saw Druski's skit. It was a lot longer because I kept looking for it. It's only 30 seconds.
No, it's a lot longer. Well, I guess
a minute and a half. Not that long.
That's why I need to be on TikTok, because on TikTok is 20 seconds that they have not, because I can put that up. But the skit seems longer. Because how long is it hanging in the air?
The skit is only like a minute and a half at the most, probably. Maybe 2 minutes, but I don't even think it's that long. But anyway, so on the skit, he's doing all kinds of stuff. So he's coming down in the air with this flashy suit on, and he had so he's gliding through all over the top of people in the church. So he has on this thing. This skit, so I don't think the skit was supposed to be Pastor Mike Todd, but overall, Mike Todd gets a lot of attention because of how he dresses and because he's just hot topic. So I don't really think it was supposed to be against Mike Todd, but who knows? Because I will say this. So Mike Todd gets a lot of attention because he is one of those preachers who likes to do illustrations. So because he does illustrations, because he dresses kind of different, he gets a lot of attention. And a lot of times it's not positive attention, unfortunately, because I really believe that his heart is in the right place. I used to watch his sermons. I am a preacher myself. So at the end of the day, every sermon is not going to be a winner. But he had a series called Crazy Faith. And that series really blessed me. I think it ended up being like 10 or 12 sermons long, maybe longer, maybe shorter. But it was a really long series on having faith, and he used examples of how his church got blessed and how he was obedient, blah blah blah. Anyway, but he's done all kinds of crazy sermons where he does illustrations and like large illustrations. He for one New Year's service, he had a doorway with a door, and he had luggage where he was trying to, and all the luggage had different things on it, different like examples of stuff. So he was talking about the things that we shouldn't take into the new year. So he had a whole bunch of luggage, and he was trying to go through the door because the going through the door signified the new year. He had another sermon where he had different size little beach balls, and large balls and whatever that he was holding. And so he was talking about trying to juggle things in your life, and how when you have the like you have a stress ball and you have a pain ball and you have like all these different things, and how when you're trying to juggle all the heavy things in life, then you start dropping the things that really matter. So you start dropping your family, you start dropping your friends, you start dropping your faith, and all these things. So he's known for doing big things. Okay. And he was just on tour or about to go on tour with Ty Tribbett, because he used to do R&B. So he gets attention for that. So Mike Todd gets a lot of attention either way it goes. So Druski may have used part of Mike Todd, but the flying through the air was another preacher. Either way it goes.
Bartholomew Pastor Orr.
Yeah. And I remember that one because I was like, dude, you're doing a lot. Yeah. But either way it goes. So Druski in the skit, he flies through the air. He has on the flashy suit. He says, why did he have on, what did he say? The
Louis Vuitton on, and with the Christian Louis
and
on.
and Christian the Louboutins. So he had Louis Vuitton suit and Christian Louboutin shoes. And he said, they said, preacher, why you got that on? Because what? What did he say? He had on the red bottom shoes, talking about he walking by the blood or something like that. Anyway, it got a whole bunch of attention because it showed him laying down, counting the money after the service. It showed him, he basically made fun of Marvin Sapp because he was talking about collecting all this money and closed the doors.
That's another.
So remember?
Now hold on, was that Sapp?
Yeah, that was Marvin Sapp.
Okay.
That was definitely Marvin Sapp who told him to close the doors.
Was he also the preacher that reprimanded the lady for not bringing the more money?
No. So that's that one is Marvin Winans.
Said 2,000. You only brought me this.
Two Marvins. Okay. So Marvin Winans for that one for Perfecting Faith Ministries, and then Marvin Sapp for Close the Doors. Two different preachers, two different situations.
But the one who said close the doors, he was on the Breakfast Club explaining that. He said, usually you have that anyway, that, the tithes offer, you close the doors anyway.
So all of this stuff can really be explained, to be very honest with you. And see, that's the thing that frustrates me about this new age where we share everything on social media. On one hand, I absolutely understand how every church started to stream online because COVID. Even before COVID, churches were streaming online because there needed to be a presence for people who couldn't make it to church, people who wouldn't go to church. So it was our way of reaching out. And I say our way because I go to church, but it was our way of reaching out to those who would never walk through the doors, right? So you're going to have a plus and a minus to everything. And the plus is that you make contact with people who may never walk through the doors. You can give encouragement to people who are in hospitals and jails and all these places where they can't come.
Sick and shut in. So
exactly. So those are the pluses. But the minuses come when you have people who take bits and pieces of things and they take it out of you. Now you have a video that's out of context. You have so if I do a sermon where I maybe talk about the prostitute in the Bible, right? And I talk about all that she did, but all you heard is that. You didn't hear about her being redeemed. You didn't hear about her, about God forgiving you. You didn't hear any of the other things. Then you're going to be like, I ain't never going to that church, or that church is, not right. So everything, most of the stuff in the skit could be explained. Some of it was just to be funny. So here's how I feel about the skit. Satire, yes. What do you call it? Spoof. What's the other one? It's another one.
It was so. What the only thing that I want to get to is how people they're upset about the skit. But what I wonder, was that a comedy show? How did you get a congregation in there to even pull it off?
Oh, that don't take nothing. That don't take.
I'm gonna do a spoof. Y'all want to come be a part? Come on in, huh?
They don't have to be real congregants.
Well, I know that they're not real, but I'm just saying because some of them was even kind of dressed like they were going at church on Sunday. So it's like,
yeah, if I'm gonna do a skit, I'm gonna pay some people to be ready and dressed.
The production behind it, yeah.
The
production behind it is what I'm talking about. You know, you're paying these people. Nonetheless, the cameras, the flying, the suit, the money put into that.
The money put into it. Yeah. But here's the thing: people are really making a whole livelihood off of social media. So he put in a ton of money to make it happen, but it ain't no telling how much he's made since. Because not only has that video did 100 million or 100, hundreds of thousands. Not only has that video done all of that, but all of the people who are using his video and other things, he's getting money off of that too, I'm sure. So he done made that over 10 times. No problem. And it is by far the most viewed video he's ever done. And here's my thing. After all of that, I don't understand why people are so shook by it. It's the same stuff that people have been saying about preachers all my life. like I don't understand why this is so deep. Don't get me wrong. It's the slap in the face to good preachers, to amazing preachers. But first and foremost, I think it was a joke. It was making fun of something that's already been talked about, right? But we ain't never heard this. We ain't never heard that all preachers want is money. We ain't never heard that, that they go back in the back and count the money. We ain't never heard that they got fancy cars and drive. And come on now.
So the church is a scam, all that stuff.
Yeah, like I don't understand why this had to be such a big idea. I mean, a big deal when this is not something that's new. This people joking. I wonder if he even thought it was gonna be this funny. Or get this much attention. It's people who really put in so much energy, and I guess I'm putting energy in it too. But my energy is different because I'm like, why?
Yeah, people are very upset about it. That's
why. Isha says, "Am I just not watching the video either? Druski had some church hurt, and he is calling out the shepherds of the flock, or this was just this was just money grab." And I think I think it's the latter, because I'll say the only reason I say that is because the skit was pointing out specific stuff that has already been put into social media. Like we've already seen the flying pastor. I mean the drift. I don't know what you call it, drifting, flying, whatever, going through the air.
Pastor,
huh?
The flying
pastor, yeah. So I'm assuming that he just took the opportunity to take all of the things that people have already been talking about and make a profit, because none of it seemed like it was personal to him. It seemed like he was making fun of people who had already gotten in trouble. So I mean, and that's an assumption because he hasn't said anything.
Ty got in trouble?
No. I'm not talking about Mike Todd.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about who has created some kind of something, some kind of stir in some kind of way. Mike Todd is always in trouble. There is a guy who does like he does like prophetic videos, and I have no idea. I think I might have watched one, and once you watch something, it comes up all the time. So this guy is determined to take Mike Todd down. Every time I look around, he is trying to say Mike Todd is the false prophet. Mike Todd does this and Mike Todd does that. And then they tried to put Mike Todd in the very same suit that Druski had on. They AI'd him and put him in the suit that Druski had on.
Yeah.
It's like, leave this man alone. The man, listen, this man can't do nothing. And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with everything. I never agree 100% with nobody. Shoot, I don't never agree 100% with myself. but
okay.
I'm just saying. But I also don't agree. I also don't agree that this man is malicious. I don't agree that he is stealing other. They didn't say everything from him stealing people's sermons to him. You know, they mess with him and his wife. They mess with his hips because when he was a little bigger, you know, and then he wears clothes. He likes clothes. So when you like clothes and you're a man, the farther you step out with them clothes, you gotta know that people are gonna have something to say. When you're gonna wear wide leg pants, but you got hips, they gonna hit different. I'm just saying, the man got hips. He didn't do that. The Lord did it. Then they mess with his wife because his wife this part will actually get us to the next.
What's going? Well, yeah.
To the next situation.
Well, real quick, I was listening to Breakfast Club over the weekend, and they had a pastor on there who was talking about it. He was saying that, you know, he's not offended by it. He said he thought it was kind of funny, and he also was speaking on to the fact of some people don't see the work that they put outside the church once they become popular. So
absolutely,
that's making their money. They're necessarily not getting it from the church. They might be doing speaking engagements. They might be, because, you know, they was talking a reference about how even towards the end of Druski's video, when he pulled off in the roles, you know, that too, you know, step away from my car and all that, you know, that. And then, you know, he was like, there are some pastors out there who have that, but some of them have worked hard. Some have written books. They do so they have earned that. He said it's the ones who has not done that has all that.
That makes it worse for everybody.
You need to watch because they haven't earned it outside the church. They're taking from
absolutely.
It. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that frustrates me. Is like, if the world is talking about it, that's one thing. But Christians who go to church, y'all, you know your pastor ain't got no money. You know your pastor rolling up in a Corolla just like you. Or if he got that Cadillac, if he got that big fancy car, that your pastor would work a second job. You know your pastor just gave tithes and offerings just like you did. My pastor not only is our pastor, but my pastor has written several books. My pastor is also the president of my brain just went blank, but we are part of the Southern Baptist Association. My pastor is the president of that. My pastor does all kinds of things to make extra income. And before he went full-time in ministry, my pastor was working a job and doing ministry. And it is not easy to work a job and do ministry because people in ministry don't think you're supposed to have a life.
Right. Yeah.
They want you to be everywhere. We had to pray about completely taking this man off of his job because we needed him to be there on a regular basis for different things that preachers are called to do. But people don't want to talk about that. If you are going to be a Christian and be mad at this video, I need you to really evaluate whether you actually going to church, because you obviously ain't paid attention to the fact of what really matters, what's really real. Don't be and people who outside the church, shut up. No offense. But if you ain't going to church, you don't know what's going on in it anyway. So I don't want you to talk about this is why I don't go to church. This ain't why, because this the same stuff we keep telling y'all.
That's why I go to church.
That's why I don't go to church. Get on my nerves. No, that's not why. That's not why.
On the street. I might as well stay on the street.
That's not why you don't go to church. You don't go to church because you don't want to. You don't go to church because you ain't getting You don't go to church because you don't want to feel convicted to change. It's a million reasons you ain't going to church, but telling the same story that been told since the beginning of time is not the reason you ain't going to church. Shut your face. This why I don't like them Christians. This why I don't like religion.
Oh man.
Shut up. You want to bring JB on?
That'd be a fireball. Yeah, we can bring him on.
Come on.
Needing to be saved. Now let's start.
Hi, JB.
What's up, y'all?
Going on with it, brother?
Chilling. Yeah, it's a crazy topic y'all talking about, man.
Hey, you turn on your volume just a second.
Turn it down.
Yeah.
Hey, which one of y'all got y'all puppies in the room with y'all?
Now you ain't hear it until he got on there. So
Oh, y'all hear my dog whining?
Yes.
You don't hear him?
No, I don't hear him. Hold on, man.
He got cancellation. He must got beat.
Well, you see they got the little microphone thing on it, so it's gonna be messing up on the roof.
Listen.
My bad.
So what you think about? Well, first of all, man, good evening, sir.
How y'all
Good
doing? How y'all
evening,
doing?
JB.
Hello, folks. Hello, everyone. Everyone's.
What has dawned on you, sir? Make it quick.
Not too much, man. Not too much. Soup weather, man. It's mad cold. It's down to what, 3 degrees?
Yeah, 4 degrees.
Yeah, it's bonkers. That's what I'm at. My dog, as you heard, he having an issue with the salt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, my dog too. He's been very whiny when it comes to it. It's cold outside, and between the salt, between the ice getting stuck on his paws and stuff like that. Yeah, same thing.
Y'all use magnesium sulfate instead of sodium sulfate?
Yeah, we actually just got some stuff today.
Magnesium is better for their paws and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I'm poor. I just got what they had.
$11 a bag at O'Reilly's.
I'm joking anyway. He ain't even been buy no salt for real. We try not to really put salt down around the area he's in.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, it's
cut his foot off. I told you.
Yeah, it's a path like from both of my driveways to the back. And so of course the wife complaining she almost fell, so I had to sort it. And
Get it together.
You're a good
this
one.
is kind of the first. This is kind of the first time. Like,
let it freeze.
Yeah, I know you would.
But
he never really walked on salt before.
Yeah.
So it's irritating or something awful.
Yeah, because that old place, it was a straight backyard, so it was straight snow. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about this Druski situation in the mega church? What's your opinion? How do you feel? Was it funny? Was it wrong? Was it,
I mean, I thought it was hilarious. But I mean, it's comedy, man. It's
not blasphemy.
No, because he wasn't mocking religion or God or anything. It was more. I took it as more of a spoof on pastors, the individuals, and I think the only people that's bothered, man, is because it touched the nerve. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It touched the nerve, and somebody felt that they was in that box and was just like, yeah, he talking about me. So that's why everybody's so bothered by it. But
a hit dog, a holler, won't it?
Every time.
I just do the rock. I don't know, but you holler, so it must be you.
Yeah, but it's all a good comedy in my book. I don't understand why everybody be bugging about what these comedians say anymore, attacking them on stage and all that madness.
I just think
everybody's so sensitive.
Mockery of how they're living. Some of them, because the one They said one pastor was saying that he dresses like that so he can identify with his congregation. But if
I heard that crap.
If they're not wearing that, how can you identify with them? They can't identify purchasing a $10,000 suit. You know, if you got
unless you got one of them upscale churches, you know. But
yeah, but even that sounds crazy.
You still won't have a bunch of people in there who can afford that like that. You got somebody who won't even want to spend $5,000, let alone maybe $2,500 for a good suit, you know. So
yeah,
if you use that as a reason why, that's he's making a mockery of those types as opposed to, I think, genuinely. I mean, he made a mockery of sense of everybody, but nonetheless, I think that's what he was trying to expose, the ones who really don't do it for the love of, you know, giving the word to the people.
Yeah, the Reverend Do Wrongs. You know, the Reverend Do Wrongs. What was the Reverend's name in Don't Be a Menace?
Was it Reverend Do Wrong?
Yeah, I think it was Reverend Do Wrong. Yeah, I think it was
Do Wrong or Pastor Cavassier, or you know.
Nah, it was Reverend. It's Reverend Do Wrong.
Pastor Cavassier.
The one that kept saying, just don't ask no questions. That dude. But that's the ones you talking about, man. You know, the ones.
You know, even Mike Epps' lottery ticket. It has always been
exactly. Yeah, you know.
You know, this is my house. He want me to have this house. This is my wife. This is the wife I need. So, yeah,
this is the wife God want me to have. So they've been doing it since the beginning, man. In Living Color, remember when Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans had that skit? You know what I mean? So it's good fun.
They got so many that's hilarious, but man,
hilarious, you know. So
I'm doing Jimmy Swaggart and crying and all that. Yeah,
right. So he just falling in line, you know. That's my take from it, you know.
Yeah. So sis, you was getting on to the money aspect of everything when it comes to, you know, when we was talking about the tithe and offering thing, because you said it ties along with the next thing we were going to talk about.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about the money. I was talking about the judgment of Mike Todd's wife and how she dresses. Not how she dresses, but how she would dress on vacation.
Yeah.
Like they had something to say.
How should the wife of the church how should she dress?
So that's how that's why I said it was leading into our next part, talking about the dress. We know the dress, Pastor Jamal Bryant's wife's dress that everybody has something to say something about.
Should we have shoulders covered? What should we be doing here?
That is her dress right there. Oh, wait. We need to highlight this one. So we're going to highlight it. But I do want to make sure I say this. She has on flesh-colored material. That is not her body.
Skin.
That is not her skin. She has on flesh tone material under the black. Okay. So
by the way, I don't know. I was trying to find stuff to where I can pop up. This is actually somebody's thread or whatever. So if y'all want me to read it, I will. But this is probably one of the better pictures I could pop up to where everybody can see it. So.
Well, okay. So the reason I brought up Mike Todd's wife is because she was on vacation. She was on vacation and they had showed like how they worked out and got themselves back together, like their bodies together, had lost weight, had gotten lean, had, you know, all this stuff. So, and then they posted pictures from their vacation. She had on a swimsuit and people were upset because it was a swimsuit. And then they were mad because his shirt was off. They were in water.
Was it like a
yeah? I think it was a two-piece, but also, and then he had on swim trunks, no shirt. So people thought that was inappropriate. So that's kind of what led into well, that's what leads into us talking about Dr. Carey. So Dr. Carey Bryant, she is the wife of Pastor Jamal Bryant, very, very well-known pastor. He talks a lot. He got a lot going on. And she wore this particular thing. So before I say what I want to say, I'm gonna let y'all speak on how y'all feel about this dress as it relates to her, period, and as it relates to her as a first lady.
Go ahead, Kev.
I really want to know.
Yeah, we really want what?
That's the mistress dress to me. That's what the mistress should be wearing on the front row, really. But honestly, and being real, being outside the church, hey, to each his own. But it's to some, it's not a good look considering she's supposed to be the first lady of the church and all that. And is there a rule that your shoulder's supposed to be covered? Because that's what I have always heard.
Not shoulders though.
Showing skin, you shouldn't be showing
shoulders.
I mean,
All right.
most of them they have a jacket on over it or something, so you rarely would see, the upper.
That man says shoulders though.
Look at the shoulders.
Shoulders out.
What are you talking about?
Where is this church? Is this at church?
It's not at church.
Not at church.
Okay.
She is not at church. They are at a gala, a formal dinner.
Then she's properly dressed. She's properly dressed. I mean, as long as if she can't go, she shouldn't go to church dressed like that. But if they had
what about those who say you're still a representative of the church?
Okay, that's cool, but it's still borderline modest. It's not crazy over the top. I mean, they can't be mad because she thicker than them all. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is that inappropriate for church? Yes. Is it inappropriate for where they wearing it and what they doing at the moment? Absolutely not. I mean, and how did they know that she ain't got a little strap that she, came in
shawl.
that she probably, that she probably got sitting on a chair right next to him or something. So
she doesn't, because it's a video of them walking in and she's walking in.
Oh, okay. Well, my bad. I didn't see that, but I feel this. I feel she
exactly, Sister Isha. Exactly. She was not representing the church. She was with her man.
Isn't she always representing the church? So once you leave the doors of the church, you don't have to represent it no more?
There's a difference.
Probably,
there's a difference.
What are we doing?
There's a difference between representation and representing the church versus representing Christ. Do you think that people think she's sinful? Is that what we're saying?
I mean, that's the thing that I'm wondering.
That's the interpretation.
What's the beef?
The conservative mind interpretation is that, yeah, how you say.
So the conservative mind is thinking that she is trying to entice men that are not her husband.
That's she's yeah.
Okay. So what? You want to before I get mine? You want to read what they put?
Well, I guess the lady who put
I got feelings.
Pastor Bryant said he was the one who bought the dress for his wife.
Absolutely.
Not see-through. It's flesh tone. He also said that his wife and he wanted something to be excited about when he got home. All right, now, Pastor. Yeah, well, I ain't see that she put that. All right, then, Pastor. Well, all right, I'll feel you.
His explanation was a little out there.
He could have kept it,
but he ain't had to go so hard, I don't think. But
he didn't.
I feel that she's dressed appropriate for what she's doing. I mean, it's not like stuff is hanging out. I mean, it's form fitting. Yes, it's flattering. Yes, but I still think it's within good taste. It's not hoochie mama ish.
You want to read what this person said, Alicia?
No, I want you to read it.
Okay, this guy says, as I said, them D9 preachers. What is D9?
What is D9?
Them D9 preachers are not about biblical morality nor non-secular Christian living. They teach what makes people comfortable in their worldly ways and find texts of scripture to justify it, all the while promoting sin and bringing judgment upon themselves. While it seems cute and convenient, it's bringing judgment upon all who don't study for themselves and stop leaning upon the longings of the flesh for guidance. Don't get fooled by wolves in sheep's clothing. You will answer for yourself.
I mean, I guess that's a way to look at it. But I mean, I still
it's
just
definitely a way to look at it.
I mean, you can. Could she been a little bit more modest? Yeah, of course she could have. Could she been a lot more revealing? Yeah, of course she could have. So, I mean, I can see both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. So while I can see both sides of the spectrum, because I do think there is a way that he could have addressed it that would have put people more at ease with the approach. Because I do. Here's my thing.
So I
talked to Kevin.
I guess it's the Divine Nine because she put sorority and fraternity in the chat. The D9.
Oh yeah. So divine. Yeah. Duh. That makes so much sense. Duh. So yes. Okay. Now that does make sense. So when it comes to certain things, you have to recognize the source. Pastor Jamal Bryant has a lot of gray. So it is I do understand where that person's comment came from. He has a lot of gray area in a lot of different places. So with him, sometimes you almost have to take things with a grain of salt because he does not necessarily make everything as spiritual as holy. Let's use holy.
Pastor Bryant?
Yeah, Pastor Bryant. He is not known for, no offense to him, because I do know that people follow him and listen to him, and he does not always. I'm trying to be very tender about how I say this.
See, well, he a little loose. He a little loose in his preaching.
He popped up on my feed. He was part of the when Trump got in office. He's part of the ban Target, ban Walmart. That's how I remember. He was speaking profoundly about that.
But okay, so
his messaging, I don't, I've never heard.
So let me be frank, because beat around the bush is not working. So let me be frank. He has definitely been in a lot of situations that make people question whether he is in a place of holiness or whether he just want to get away with stuff and put a label of Christianity on top of it. Sometimes he is straight from the word of God, and sometimes he's straight from the word of Jamal. And so he's been in a lot of different scenarios that have people questioning his integrity when it comes as it relates to God. He is known for being a cheater back in his past. He is known for not all the time giving solid doctrine. He is known for being radical in how he sometimes presents the word of God. He's also tied to him trying to start a weed farm, I believe. Yeah, he got a lot of stuff going on. So when it comes to,
if it's certain states, it's legal. You gotta obey the laws of the land.
No, he was talking about helping people. This was before it was legal, I believe. And please excuse me if I misspeak speak a little bit, but he was talking about having the church buy land and plant weed and have those who smoke it come to Christ, because it was crazy. You got to look it up. Anyway,
he's gonna let
he
people
was
smoke
trying.
at the church.
He was really trying. He was trying to bridge the gap. Bridge the gap. So he was trying to get men who they're only. He was trying to get men and I guess women, people who smoke. He was trying to give them a way to come to the church. That was it. It didn't make sense. Okay, not all the way.
He creating a new communion. That's what he was doing.
Listen.
But he was also trying to create jobs with it. He was also trying to create community. So he does some things that are a little misguided. He's very intelligent. He is one of those preachers who is just good with words and all that stuff. So because he's charismatic, a lot of people follow him. He's always had a large following, all these things, blah, blah, blah. So I take what he gives with a grain of salt. So what that person said under the comment, I completely understand where they're coming from. I do not agree with his approach to saying, that's my wife and I chose the dress and I want my wife to look good, and that does not give any context to why the dress had to be flesh tone and pointing to her vagina and her titties. I didn't have no problem with the dress.
For the imagination.
I didn't have no problem with the dress because the lady was fully covered. She didn't even really have cleavage. She was completely, all of her parts were completely covered, and it was not see-through. It was flesh tone material. I did not have a problem with the dress until he gave his little explanation and pissed me off. Because at the end of the day, sir, you still have accountability for how the dress was shaped. It pointed at her vagina. It pointed at her boobs. So recognize, okay, maybe that part wasn't so great, but at the end of the day, my wife was fully covered. We weren't at a church event. We were at something. Yeah, right. Michelle Obama would never. She was not at something where she was representing the church. Now, is she supposed to represent God on every turn? Absolutely. So what about it? If I am at a place with my husband, when does a woman of God get to have sex appeal that allows her to feel like a woman, that allows her to feel confident, that allows her to feel secure, and that I'm with my man and I am appealing to him? There is nothing wrong with her wanting to look good when she goes out with her man. Now, could the dress have done other things? Yes. Nobody have probably had no problem with the dress if it was not flesh tone under it.
Right.
But when you create an issue, you do not come back 10 toes down and be rude. You can say, I am supporting you could say, I'm supporting my wife. I don't like how people are treating her. We understand how people are feeling. It was not our intent, but at the end of the day, I'm going to stand 10 toes down and support my wife. You can say that, but recognize when you wrong too, because it never had to be flesh tone. It never had to have decoration that pointed to her parts and made people question whether she was wearing clothes or not. The problem was not how the dress was made. I like I said, I don't think anybody would have had a problem with it being form-fitted, because most of her dresses are form-fitted. Nobody had a problem with that. The problem was they thought she was naked.
She was showing too much shoulder.
Yeah.
I see her collarbone.
I see her collarbone. Yeah.
Look at her collarbone.
Now.
But yeah.
Was this what you were? Hold on. What did I do with it? I lost it. There you go. Was this the one you was talking about? Mike
Oh,
Todd.
for Mike Todd's wife?
Yeah.
No. She literally had a two-piece. It might be erased by now. But for him, yes, maybe. Yeah, so yeah, they're enjoying the vacation. Please let people be real. Am I supposed to wear a long whatever? Am I supposed to wear a long coverall when I'm going to the beach? Come on, people. Like at a certain point, please let a woman be a woman. We even as a woman of God, I need to feel beautiful. I need to feel like a woman. I need to feel confident. And yes, confidence does come with my clothes. Confidence does come with how I am able to present myself. I'm more confident when my hair is done. I'm more confident when I smell good. I'm more confident when I have on clothes that fit. I'm more confident when I can step into a room and feel like I am representing myself in a darn good way. It's not fair. It's not fair to say that a woman should not be able to wear things to feel confident, to feel beautiful, to feel sexy. I got a husband.
Be seen as you know, to be seen as sexy. I was gonna get into it, say, you know.
Yeah.
I
want to walk into a room and feel sexy. I do.
I'm from the age from the first ladies of the 80s, and they wasn't pretty at all.
But that's what but here's the thing. No, I'm not. If she would have wore that at church, we would be having a completely different conversation.
That's, you know,
but there's
my understanding is that no matter what or where you are, you're a representative of the church. So you should always, you know.
But she did not, to me, my opinion is that she did not negatively represent the church. In that moment, she was not representing the church. In that moment, she was representing her husband, being a wife. Am I to look like if I'm a police officer? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing that to being a Christian, because you're supposed to be a Christian no matter what.
No matter what.
But if I am a police officer, am I supposed to wear my uniform no matter where I am? Am I supposed to be?
But you're still a representation even when you take the uniform off.
You are true. You are telling the truth, but I'm not wearing that uniform.
But how many people that lost their job for doing something outside of work because they was a representation of that department?
But you said something key.
What's that?
What did she do? That didn't represent Christ. Because another thing that Jamal said during his rant was that did they say that she prayed the place down? Did they talk about how they raised the most money for the United Negro College Fund that they ever have? They didn't talk about that. They wanted to talk about attire. So I will say, yes, you represent him, but if the lady was completely covered, so your interpretation can be what it is. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, if I'm shaped like a Coke bottle, it's either my clothes gonna fit. We talked about this earlier. It's either my clothes gonna fit and they're gonna be form fitted, or it's gonna look like a curtain. Because it's not too many in betweens. Yeah. When a woman is shapely, when a woman is shaped like a pear, it's some stuff you can get away with. But when I'm shaped like a Coke bottle, either it's going to fit me or it's going to be too big most of the time.
A pear.
A pear, a triangle, an apple, whatever. Pick whatever fruit you want. You can look like a banana.
Look like an eggplant.
That's a whole nother topic. But no, what I'm saying is me representing what also did she was she caught whispering in men's ears? Was she caught dancing on the floor like she was a hoe? Like what else did she do other than wear a dress that really didn't show anything? What else? So how did she not represent the church?
It was a distraction. No, I'm not saying. I'm just asking.
She could be a distraction just walking in the door. Baby got back.
Take me through that.
But here's the thing. On a Sunday morning, like I've seen some of the other stuff she wore, and I am.
Now, are they more conservative or church attire?
So yes and no.
Should we go?
I don't know.
You know,
So it usually fits her. It usually fits her shape. I will say that her clothes usually somewhat fit her shape. She tries to wear flowing things. She tries to wear, pants and stuff like that. But there are the outside events where I don't always agree with her attire. But I also don't have her shape. Don't have her money. Don't have her husband. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I think sometimes we have to recognize the position the person is in as well. Everything doesn't always align the way we want it to. And maybe, how about this? Because of all the backlash she got, she'll be more conservative and think more about how she dresses now.
Doubt it.
I doubt it too. But because at the end of the day, they talked about she had a BBL. So
all right,
a
now,
BB.
see, now if stuff like that happened, you know what I mean? Now it's different. You know what I'm saying? Because you're enhancing yourself and you wearing things to show.
So that was before she was she got that before she was a pastor's wife.
He's talking about that earlier.
She had it before him.
Before
him.
And for the natural before you get them enhancements. Yeah, just love who you are. But it was before him. So
but I also said, he talking about love who you are. So that's why one of the questions I put in the summary of today is enhancement, or is it just you want to feel confident about yourself? Do I need to be natural, or can I enhance the things that I'm not comfortable with? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
She's very conservative. It looked like in everything else she wears.
No, she's definitely not, and not in everything. But here's the thing: they show that they share a lot of their life. So you see her going to different events. You see her going on date nights with her husband, and so that's another thing. The lady, you seen the lady wear stuff that was form fitted, that showed her legs, that showed that was less than first lady like. So why all of a sudden is this dress such a big deal?
This first lady like.
See.
Exactly. And that's after the dress, wasn't it? That's after this dress.
They putting on for the city.
Exactly.
And
so
in a race.
Like
front of a race.
My thing is don't crucify me when this has always been me too. That's another thing. This has always been her.
But that's
so
crazy.
Like now it's a big deal.
I mean, but that's a big deal. I mean,
the car.
I mean, look at this. Just look at this picture. You know what I'm saying? Like right here.
So my question is, so because this kind of ties into the whole Druski skit as well. Because look at the car, look at the clothes, right? So if they weren't church people, would these outfits offend you? Would that car offend you? How would you feel about it?
I feel like, where'd you get a $250,000? I forgot how much that car. That's a six-figure vehicle.
Yeah, it's easy.
That's a six-figure vehicle.
My thing is,
Jamal ain't just a preacher. She's a doctor. Her name is Dr. Carrie.
But my thing is, if you a preacher, but what else? You say he's not just a preacher. A preacher is just one of his many.
Yes.
What type of doctor
hustles?
Does he just have her doctorate, or is she actually a true doctor?
What's a true doctor? If you have a doctorate,
Yes,
you are
I
a true
guess
doctor.
in the sense of service.
No, she's not. She's not a medical doctor, I don't believe.
Oh, I
Do
guess.
she got patients of any sort sort? Like, is she a
therapist?
psychologist?
I don't really
Is
think
she
that
a
matters.
therapist?
Because if I have a doctorate in any field, I am still a doctor.
She's still a doctor. I'm
But-
not trying to disqualify her from having a doctor, but a doctor to be able to get that type of vehicle. That's why I have to be a medical doctor first.
No.
And
See, that's a
doctor-
misconception. That's a misconception. In the world that we live in, you don't have to be nothing amazing no more. No offense, but you don't have to be anything amazing to have those things anymore. We don't live in a world where you got to be a doctor or a lawyer or or the president or whatever you deem to make a lot of money. An astrophysicist. You don't have to be that no more, because guess what? Mr. Beast, all he does is blow up stuff, and he is a millionaire, billionaire. You know what I'm saying? So we don't live in that world no more where you can just say who can have it and who can't.
Who's Mr. Beast?
No, but I mean,
Who
it's
is Mr.
something.
Beast?
You know,
You so old.
It's this thing. You got to, if you got
Look
a
at
thing,
look up
if you
Mr.
got-
Beast.
if you got to hustle, you're gonna rake in that money. So,
But what? So
is
that's
being
the thing.
one of his hustles.
Is being a
or-
pastor one of his hustles? No. So
that-
let's put this in perspective, because I know both of y'all don't go to church.
You mean the white dude, Mr. Beast?
Yes, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast was known for blowing up stuff, for doing stuff, and then it just grew. He just started buying stuff and blowing stuff up until like now he's got a show on TV and he's making millions for blowing up stuff. Okay, so like social media and all of this this internet world, people don't have to have no talent, no skill, no nothing.
No.
Everybody is getting millions and a lot of people don't even have talent. Okay. So, but what I was going to say, as far as when it comes to church, people, you may get the notoriety or may get the following because you were our dynamic preacher, right? But then you have to do other things. Most preachers, first of all, it's only a handful of these mega churches in the first place, right? I actually looked at a preacher who broke it down. For the most part, these preachers are not making their money off of congregations. For one, most churches, if not all, I'm not sure, I don't want to misspeak on this, but most churches are nonprofit organizations. You have to be careful about how much and all of this. You have to be careful about how much tax-wise you pay, all of these things. But to add to it, most preachers, especially preachers nowadays, make their money off of the extras. So they've gotten their doctorate. Most preachers have gone speaking engagements. Yes. I know back in the day, one of my old pastor back in the day was getting $3,000 for a speaking engagement an hour. So like, you don't have to be in a place anymore where you're pimping the church. Nobody has to pimp the church anymore because everybody is reading how-to manuals. Everybody wants an autobiography. Everybody wants to experience these events. Everybody wants something. There's always an event going on. There's always a panel going on. There's always something, some kind of way to make money these days. So you don't have to be one of these preachers who is eating off of your congregation, because that doesn't have to be how it's done anymore. We don't live in that world no more. We did have preachers who was taken away from the churches and all that stuff, but Pastor Jamal Bryant don't have to do that. He's been a famous preacher for years.
Oh wow.
10, 15, 20 years. He's been a famous preacher for a very long time. If you remember Creflo Dollar,
I was just about
Jamal
to say,
Bryant was famous then.
he was
If
around
you TD Jakes,
between
Jamal Bryant was famous then. So like
Creflo and TD. I was gonna say he was around.
yeah, like those are the first ones come to mind. Jamal was famous then. He's been famous for a very long time, very well known. So yes, he can ride in a $250,000 car with no problem because he's been making money in other areas for a very long time. So and we all know, for the most part, especially with Black people, the more money you get, the more flashy you dress.
Why I gotta be about race?
Because white people don't spend their money on clothes.
They do. They just not maybe as flashy.
And what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna know.
We have to show up.
Simon Cowell was spending how much on t-shirts? He was spending a whole bunch of money on t-shirts.
Yeah.
They don't spend money on flashy stuff.
Yeah.
They don't usually spend money on stuff that we would deem worthy.
$300, $400 t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't usually spend their money the same way. I ain't saying that they be responsible. I'm just saying it's different. They show it in a different way.
Yeah.
So like,
got to show up and show out when we do it. That's why. You know what I mean?
You listen. So that's what I saw this guy on. Y'all ever watch Pop the Balloon? Probably not, huh?
So many different ones, because isn't it on Netflix now as a TV show?
I think it's canceled now. It might still be on there, but I think it's canceled. But so there is a main Pop the Balloon. There's Pop the Balloon and Find Love, and that one is ran by this lady named Arlette and her husband BM. They have whatever. Anyway, there was a contestant on this past week, and he was saying, because the ladies kept calling him flashy because he had, I want to say, Versace on from head to toe or something like that. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, I don't know. He had on something fancy from head to toe. And so every person kept saying he was flashy. And he said, why can I celebrate making good money? I work hard. He's like, so I feel like when Black people get to a certain point, we want to show what we've earned. Yeah. And I think that's very common. So that's how you get the flashy preachers, because they've gotten to a place. I ain't saying it's right, because I still think it's tacky.
No. But we're not saying that is right. We're not agreeing that is right either. But that's just our culture. It's ingrained. You get a few dollars, so I have to get this so I can show off this. So now, hopefully, I can get this certain level of respect because my status should be seen as this now. So that's what it's all about, status, when it comes to our culture and how you want to be seen.
Yep. And that's a new topic. Cause I have never been one who feels like we have to prove ourselves to anybody.
Good work. Yeah.
I am who I am, and I'm worth everything. So I don't have to prove to you that I've gotten to your level. You don't have to put me in certain rooms. You don't have to put me on a pedestal. You don't have to make space for me. I'm gonna create my own lane. I'm going to recognize my value. If I got a play I want to do, I'm gonna make a play. If I got a movie I want to do, I'm gonna make a movie. If all the stuff that we're constantly waiting for somebody to give us permission to do, we don't have to do that all the time. We can make our own lanes. It's people who make their own lanes all the time, and they didn't ask for permission to do it. That's just who they were.
That's just who they were. It wasn't about validation of them, because they trying to validate their own existence by living how they want to live.
Yeah. And I think in essence, that's probably, Pastor Jamal Bryant's message is that we're going to do this because this is what we want to do. We're not looking for your approval. This is between me and my wife. Now, I'm with him with that. I think my wife looks beautiful. I chose the dress.
Well, I could
I'm
take
the
it
one
over.
picked that dress out.
Freaky pastor. You got the freaky pastor.
With his wife, I'm okay with it.
Now,
Listen, we love to preach the bedroom is undefiled when you're married. So why can't this man be excited about taking his beautiful wife home? He ain't got to share all that, but still,
no, you know, it's wrong. He's sharing it. It's not in the Bible to share, but yeah. Those things. Now, how do you feel? Because I heard something about that some of these mega churches, they ask for W-2s from people in the congregations to let you know how much tithes you should be paying. Is there any that? Have you ever heard anything like that? Have you heard?
Yeah, I heard that. They used to say that about the Word Church all the time.
Really?
So, yeah, they used to say it about the Word Church. But let me explain that. Let's give clarity. The pastor was doing a financial series for those who wanted to have financial counseling. You had to turn in your W-2s to show what you've made because it was part of the class that they were giving. See, that's what I was saying about things being taken out of context. When somebody wants to be offended, people find offense.
They find offense because I'm thinking like you don't have to show them your W-2 if you don't want to. Why would you get mad about something? Don't show it.
Yes, because they people wanted to say that he was asking for their W-2s because he wanted to make sure that they were giving their 10% because you know the tithe is supposed to be 10% of your income. So he wanted to make sure that you were giving your 10%. That's bull.
I don't get that. Is it from net or gross? What's the 10% from? I mean, I don't.
So when you give 10% of your income, so you're supposed to give it off the top. So if you decide, which one is the one you bring home? Is that net?
Net is what you bring.
You bring
gross is what you made. Net is what you bring home after tax.
Yeah. So, it kind of depends. So when I tax off of what I brought home because that's what I actually got. And then, but I also tithe, not tax. I also tithe off of my income tax because my income tax is what they withheld. So that would have been my gross. So I tithe off of my income tax as well. If you tithe off of your gross all year, then when you get your income tax, then some people won't tithe off of that because they've been giving from that portion anyway.
You get $2,000 back in taxes, so I'm gonna give $200 to the church.
So yeah, if I get 10%. Yeah, whatever I get back, I give 10%. I got a lump sum one time. I ain't gonna say how much, but the church got mighty blessed. But here,
$2,000 in taxes, give y'all $200 off the top.
Man,
here's what we gotta think about. Okay, so when it comes to a tithe, so I'm not a regular tither. I want to be, but I'm not. I always tithe off of my income tax, no matter what. It's the largest money that I have all year. I make sure I tithe off of it. But when we think about giving to the church, we have to stop thinking about giving to first of all, we have to think about giving it to God and how God is going to be able to use it to bless others. So if I give, I know how the church operates. So what a lot of people who are not in church all the time, what they don't realize is churches usually give a report. There's a financial report that you pretty much can access with any church to find out what their financials are, how their money is spent. Okay. So every year we get a report. We just had our meeting. We just got a report of how everything was spent. This auxiliary, everything. Okay. So we know how much is going to outreach. We know how much is going to utilities. We know how much is going to the pastor. We know how much, you know what I'm saying? It breaks it down. When you start looking at the actual factuals, then you realize how much it takes to actually operate a church.
Yeah. You gotta pay bills.
So from month to month, depending on, because I can't say most. Some churches don't own their building. Okay. So you think about mortgage, you think about, well, if the church was open every day this week, because if we think about our household and then we think about church, guess what? The church has some of the same expenses.
Electric,
They got lights, they got gas, they got water.
water.
They got all the same expenses, not to mention mortgage. And then we done did all that and we ain't helped nobody yet. So think about, like, I have taken bags of food to people who were in need because we have a pantry. But guess how we can pay for that? Because people were giving their offering. We give an offering to all kinds of stuff. Like we have one that gives to overseas. We have an offering where we take up for Angel Tree,
Yeah.
where people donate stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like when we have Vacation Bible School, we have all the supplies that need to be purchased for Vacation Bible School. And guess what? Our Vacation Bible School, we can see anywhere from 200 to 500 people daily. So and then we feed all those people. So like when people are talking about the pastor has all the money, if you think about the breakdown, your $200 didn't go far. You know what I mean? Like I understand for you it was a big thing. For me, it's a big thing. But in the grand scheme of things, that we want the church to do so much.
It goes to the collective.
But if we don't give, then the church ain't able to do those things that we're expecting it to do. When we lose somebody and we want the church to pay for the food when the people come to the funeral, if you want us to pay for the repast, well, where the money coming from?
Not outside of that, like you were just saying, when you want to host a soup kitchen. You know?
That's what I'm saying. All of the things that the church does. You want the church to be open all the time so you can have different programs, so you can come in, you can pray, you can meet with the pastor and not be in the dark. You know what I'm saying? All of these things that we expect the church to do.
They're using them as warming centers, some of them, like times right now because of the weather. So yeah.
Exactly. So all of the stuff that we are expecting, especially a mega church, mega churches are giving away. The Word Church has given people cars and houses. The Word Church has done all kinds of giveaways. When they have concerts where they bring these major artists, guess what? It's free at the Word Church. So like they provide jobs for a whole bunch of people. The people in the parking lot getting paid. The people on the music ministry, some of those people getting paid. Yes, you have to. Why would you not want to pay a preacher that you expect to be at funerals, at weddings, at hospitals, at bedsides, at all of these places? You want the preacher to be there for every single service. You want the preacher to be there for every time the doors open. You want all these things from this person, but you don't want to make sure they're taken care of. So I think that's why I said, it could all be so simple if we thought about the simple things that go into taking care of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, what it goes
like if we
collective, not just, it's easy for us to be upset about what we're giving away, but there's a bigger plan.
There's a bigger picture.
Especially when you have a whole congregation who's giving that amount too. So yeah.
I've been in situations where I've seen there's a benevolent offering, and the benevolent means love. The love offering can cover, like, it's people who come to the people when they lights and gas is off, and they paid their bill. It's people who came like, I'm about to lose my house, and they paid the bill. So like we gotta. I wish that was the part that people talked about. Talk about the practical stuff that these churches are doing so that people don't think that you just constantly taking their money. We got skits like this because people are not doing skits about what's real.
They don't see how the church helps. They just
Yeah,
what's shown through, you know,
exactly.
through their TV or social media, what have you. Because seeing the mega churches, you know, like you said, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You just see the big God he set up behind them and everything. It's like, well,
Uh-huh.
you start wondering, how much did that cost? How much of that did I
Yeah.
have to pay for it? It becomes that. So yeah.
And let me tell you, so I know that some of the stuff feels very unnecessary. The lighting that feels unnecessary. The big screens that feel so unnecessary. But guess what? The big screens came into play because people would come into the church who had never been there, and the people would be singing songs, and the people would feel left out.
No word.
So they started putting the words up on the screens. But the words, if I put a little screen up there, then who can see the dang on words? You know what I'm saying? Like practical stuff. Like even running, putting it online again. That came from a need of sick and shut in being able to attend church that way because they couldn't get through the doors. I'm in my bed, sick, and can't go anywhere. But now I have encouragement through the screen. I can turn on easily and see my pastor preaching and see the people singing and feel like I'm part of it. I'm in jail. I'm in jail and can't connect with the outside world. Well, now I can because I can look at a service. And it just happens to be the service where the preacher is talking about being bound and having freedom in your heart and in your mind. Although you can't leave certain situations, you can have freedom in your heart and in your mind. So again, practical. You know, we have to think practical, because the practical things, if I tell you the practical things, don't stop. We got to stop talking above people's heads. We got to get to a place in church where we're just being honest about, you want to be saved. People don't even know what saved is. People don't understand what saved is. But we talking above their heads. Oh, well, let's think about this. I tell people all the time that I have to be a Christian inside the church and outside the church, because I might be the only church that somebody sees. So if I am walking around happy all the time, if I'm walking around, even if I ain't happy, I'm treating people right and I got a smile on my face and I'm giving people hugs and I'm encouraging people and I got the right attitude. When you want to know how I managed to have that good attitude all the time, or how I managed to keep a smile on my face, when you could be the person who working with me and know all the stuff that I'm going through, but how you ain't mad? Oh, that's the light. That's you could be saved from having a funky attitude. You could be saved from feeling like you have to have an attitude, from thinking that everything you're going through is going to pile on you and you're going to fail. You can be saved from that. So start talking about what salvation means in the practical sense. You can be saved from having those emotions, those feelings, those things where you feel like you by yourself. You can be saved from feeling like I don't matter, I don't count if I wasn't here. Do you know how many people could be saved from suicide if they just felt like they had a presence with them? Yeah, you got a God that loves you. Wait, a God that loves me? Well, yeah, he wrapping his arms around you right now, and you don't have to feel in those moments where it's just you. Guess what? It ain't just you. That's why Footsteps hit so hard. You know the story of Footsteps?
Footsteps in the sand. Yeah.
Footsteps in the sand. When you thought you was by yourself.
God, I saw there was 2 sets of footprints in the sand. That's when I knew you were beside me. But at one point when I had trouble in my life, I noticed there was only one. That's when God spoke up and said I was carrying you.
It's because I was carrying you. We need to recognize how powerful Footsteps is and how powerful the Serenity Prayer is. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Those two things are so simple, but those two things can bring anybody to Christ. Practical.
Mindset.
There is nothing wrong with having an education about knowing who God is and knowing the word and knowing where scripture is found, because as you grow in God, you're supposed to do those things. But sometimes you got to reach people where they are. Because if I'm about to kill myself, you telling me a scripture may not be necessarily, depending on what scripture, it may not be the thing that stops me from doing it.
Yeah.
You telling me that God loves me may be the thing. We got to be practical.
Not just that, you know, God loves you, and also I love you.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You are important. God has purpose for you. You're not supposed to do this on your own. Those are things we got to be reminded of sometimes, because life is hard. So again, I guess that brings us full circle to where I started from in the first place. We got to love on people.
Yeah. Yeah. We got off into a 10 after. But like
I know.
I always said that before. I always try to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And if I can help them be better, then I'm going to do what I can to help them be better.
Absolutely. It's necessary. It's necessary. JB, you've been quiet for a while. I'm sorry.
He's too taking in the word.
I mean,
the doors now open, JB. Come on.
Seems like you had a lot of stuff you wanted to get off your chest right there. So
sorry.
just let you just roll off with it, just let you go ahead. You was cooking, so we just let you go ahead and simmer.
That's what I'm talking about, JB. What kind of headphones you got, JB?
Beats by Dre. Beats by Dre.
Everybody got beats. I told her. She was talking about my beats.
Well, JB, your final thoughts.
That microphone, we can hear his dog. We can hear his dog whimpering. That's how good that microphone is.
And I couldn't even hear him.
Let him give his final thoughts. Thank you, Kevin.
But yeah, I pretty much, man, my final thoughts is pretty much just riding the coattails of the things you both were saying, man, and it's the world we live in, man. They celebrate the negative, hide the positive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you everything about clickbait, everything about views, eyes, responses, what is it? What's that word they use? Quick takes, fast takes, so shock value, you know what I mean? That's what sells, that's what makes money. So everybody just got to try to stay on a straight and narrow, stay focused on your goals, stay focused on your faith. And all that other stuff it'll be laid out. And what's important for you will be laid out in front of you. But once you start fiffering off, as we say, that's when you get distracted and fiffering. So you get distracted, and that's when you start going down that creepy road and find yourself somewhere where you don't want to be. So stay focused, keep your faith above everything, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, stay focused, keep the faith. More importantly, be you. And if you don't have a relationship with God, whatever you believe in, find a way to have that relationship so you can gain some type of peace in your life. Along with having peace or trying to find peace in your life, you will have a better understanding how to respect other people's decisions and choices so you can help them with their peace, and hopefully they can help you with yours. So if anything, I would say that.
Absolutely. I talked about black and white earlier. So my black and white is that I am a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the Holy Spirit. Those are my black and whites. The rest of everything else is secondary. God is our judge. And so there are many things that he's going to have to make clear to all of us. And one of the things that I hope he continues to make clear to all of us is the things that are important, the practical things that are important. To not focus so much on religion that we forget the people that that are a part of it. Love on people and plant the seed. Allow for God to give the increase. He will definitely give clarity where clarity needs to be, peace where peace needs to be, and comfort where comfort needs to be. So when we're looking at social media and we looking at all these things that have so much weight to them, that we think they have so much weight, pull back and remember that the things that are truly important. So thank you for joining us on O Comes the Dawn with Lisi and Kev and JB. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have gone over, but I think we had a good night, a good topic. And I promise next week maybe I won't talk as much. You got something to say before?
That's fine. Well, hopefully we can get Lee Johnson on here to kind of talk and jump on probably, because I think he has some interesting points in the way he views life also. So
actually, Isha too.
Yeah.
It would be great. She is I don't think I know who Isha North is, but I am interested in knowing who that is. So we are always looking forward to having the conversations. Kev and I love not debating, but hearing other people's point of view. That's what O Comes the Dawn is about.
Yeah, so she's a friend of mine I've met. So
okay. We'll talk about that later. So so thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We hope to see you next Tuesday and every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Again, we are O Comes the Dawn with Lisi, Kev, and JB. We will see you all next week. Have a good night, everyone.